Hello, welcome to this week's edition of WCS Sports Connection. I'm your co-host, Jimmy Qualls, and our resident athletic specialist, expert, fill in the blank, Tate Mathews. Tate, 2017-18 is in the books. We're going to wrap it up today with the wrap-up show. We'll start with spring fling. Let's talk about that for just a moment. Over 75 individual student athletes from the WCS Sports Conference represented at the TWCA Spring Fling this year, and over 7 teams.
Over 7 teams and 2 state champions or state runner-up. That's just teams, not counting the individuals. So big spring for the WCS. It always is, but this has got to be the most successful one that I remember in recent memory.
Well, you're talking about state champions. We had 3 team state champions. Three. And we had 9 individual state champions. That was 12 total state championships that we brought away from the spring fling this year. Runner-ups, we had 1 team runner-up and 9 individual runner-ups for a total of 10. That's pretty stout.
I'd stack that up against any other school system in the state. I'd say that's
well. You know that I'm going to
numero uno,
and you know that I'm going to have that data. I just don't have it today, but we will have it very soon as we encompass.
Who are the 3? Brentwood tennis, Brentwood track, and who?
We're going to get to it right now.
Oh, excuse me.
Speaking of, let's start baseball. Brentwood baseball going for their back-to-back state championships. As you know, they won it the year before. Going into this thing, they get off on a bad start. They lose to Seymour on opening day 3-2 and drops them into the loser bracket. So now they have to win it out all the way, run the table. They get awfully close. They beat Arlington 8-3 in the loser bracket second round game. They beat Stewart's Creek 8-6. A lot of folks think that Stewart's Creek could have been, was poised to be the state champions in the AAA side. They get back, play Seymour again. They 11-0, rout them, and then they lose to Rossview in the championship game 11-1. Is this a case of we had to throw everything we had at the table to get to this game and just kind of ran on fumes?
I think so, yes. But I will say everybody that I talked to said Rossview was by far the hottest team in the tournament. Their bats were unbelievable. I mean, you look at that score against Brentwood. I can't remember the last time they got beat 11-1. And if it has happened, it hasn't happened very often, But they'll tell you, back to your old Montgomery County days, some of those guys back there. Coach Hetland, a former P guy, who I think is a really good baseball guy. I know you do too. Yep. He told me they were so hot that he expected this. So, anyways, had Brentwood not lost that first Seymour game, I think they had to go through a lot of arms to get back there on championship day. But the thing I think is coolest about it is kind of what this team's been about. They always fight. They play to the last out, and that's what they did on this one. And to battle back through that loser's bracket and make it back to the state championship game, I thought was pretty neat, man. I know they were the first state championship they've had last year, and then I don't know if we've ever had it, but it's been a long time if somebody's been to the state championship game, final day in baseball in a long time. I don't think it's happened. Maybe not very often.
Well, you got to look at that cast of characters that are on this Brentwood team. Yeah. Caden Dreyer, gritty, hard-nosed kid, dual sport athlete, football player, very good football player.
Yes.
He's playing the catcher for this team, going to Sanford. They're going to be attending Sanford next year. He's going to be graduating, obviously. Carson Shacklett going to Belmont, 2-sport athlete, quarterback for the team. Both those guys played dual role quarterbacks for the football team. You've got Caleb Pearson, unbelievable arm that had a tremendous season for them.
No doubt.
Mason Kydell kept his bat hot the whole entire time.
Well, and if you go back to this year, I don't know if you go back to last year and his grand slam, I don't know if anybody made as many big plays in the 2 state tournaments as Mason Kydell. Man, he was big when the chips were on the table. So a lot of them, and they were they got a lot of young guys that pitched in too, but those 4 seniors right there, they were big, man. They were a big part of the success. Last 2 years they led, and it was just that was a fun team to watch.
And in other news, along the baseball line, Mr. May, Teddy Craig, hats off to him for an illustrious career that he's had, not only here in WCS Sports Conference, but in other states and other places. Hangs it up. And you got to, I can't say enough about Coach Craig, what he's done for the Ravenwood baseball program, Obviously, he has a son. He wants to try to be a father for a little bit of time that he has left, watching his kid play. Instead of becoming just another statistic or a number that he's got to have out there, he can actually pay attention to his own son, be a good father. Hats off to him. Who steps into his spot? Danny Bourne, a longtime assistant coach, great guy. I think that was a great move, and I think Danny will be that Ravenwood program should not slip too much off of that, if any at all.
No, Danny was a big part of it. And Danny handled most of the off-season conditioning and those things. And he's coached them in the summer, and he's been a big part of. He's been with Coach Craig, I think, the whole time he's been there, hasn't he? If not, almost all of them. So he knows the blueprint. A little bit different personality, right? But he'll have to do it his way. But I'm sure there'll be very few changes in the way they run their program. But what did Mr. May go to? 3 state tournaments, I believe.
I believe that's right.
Yeah, and he wasn't there. I think that was in 7 years or 6, 7, 8 years. 3 state tournaments. That's strong, man.
Done it the
big
right
shoes
way.
to fill. Did it the right way. That guy was definition of grinder, man.
And I wish him the best. I hope he enjoys his time, him and his wife watching their son play. On the softball side, Erica Powell. Can't say enough about her. What she has done, Coach Powell at Brentwood High School, 2 years in a row, state tournament qualifiers. You got to understand, in my short time here, 4 years, nobody, the 2 sports that have eluded us have been state qualifiers in all 22 sports, girls basketball and softball. Both softball was checked. Yeah, that's right, last year. Girls basketball this year. Erica Powell takes her team going back. Really thought had a shot to win this whole thing. Hannah Koenig, the Louisiana Tech signee, unbelievable. Over 800 career strikeouts. We're going to ride her all the way, try to get this thing championship clinched with her. Brentwood goes in, beats Dyer County the opening day, 4-0, loses to Powell to 5-3 there at that game. I kind of look at this. I hate to use this analogy, but I'll go back to the Cleveland Golden State series. I know you're a LeBron fan. And you look at that, the way that Cleveland lost their first game. LeBron has 51, 53 points. J.R. Smith, what such a great candidate he was for Mr. Basketball to catch. The only person on the floor that I would not want catching the ball with a last-second situation was him, and the only person that I wouldn't want coaching the Cavs is Tyronn Lue sitting on a timeout with 5 seconds left. Now, I have digressed, but my point is the way they lost that game, walk-off home run.
Are you trying to tell me you think Golden State, Cleveland could have won that series?
No,
okay.
no. My point is it would have been a different series.
Gotcha, okay.
Going all the way back to this, they have a walk-off home run. You could just tell. It was just one of those deflating moments. Hannah Koenig is probably not – I don't know that she's ever given a walk-off home run.
Right.
But the way they lost – and there were some other things that built up to this particular play. But, you give up a walk-off home run, and it was one of those I like to call slap hits. The girl slaps it and hits it perfect, and it goes out, and it's a 2-run shot, and you lose the game. And it was just one of those – you could see it. You hope that you could bounce back and come back. Coach Powell told me that she has a curse on that second game in the state tournament, that she has never won that second game.
Wow.
So, if they happen to hypothetically win that game, I really like their chances. I love their team. I love their grittiness. Cannot say enough, again, about Coach Powell and the job that she's done. And what a high-character person Hannah Koenig. Man, what a great student athlete. She is such a perfect ambassador for Brentwood High School, for WCS Sports Conference. Can't say enough about her and her family either.
No, without a doubt. And Louisiana Tech's getting a good one, a really good one. And I think talking to Coach Powell, she thought Powell High School was one of the – she knew they were –
Powell?
Do I?
Did I not say Coach Powell?
No, I'm just saying it's
Okay.
Powell. It kind of sounds
All right.
No, you said it right. But Coach Powell was talking about the high school Powell. And she thought they were probably – if they couldn't do it, they were probably the team to beat in the state tournament. So, it's just when you have to come back through, it's just so tough. And then, I think you're right. Had they beat them, I think they probably beat William Blunt. Who knows what happens on Friday, but still. 800 career strikeouts. She was just as good from the plate as she was from the mound. She's just as good of a person. Your good friends at the Tennessean, Kreger, wrote a great article on her and her family. You read that, and it makes you like them even more.
Oh, man.
It's just a really good story. So would have loved to have seen it with a gold ball, but man, they got nothing to be ashamed of. 2-time state tournament appearances, and hey, they're not slowing down anytime soon. They're still the team to beat.
Well, there's a possibility of a immediate fill-in for her coming up the ranks, I think, as a sophomore. So they've still got their sights set on the state championship.
Right.
Obviously, when you go into this, everybody has their sights set on the state championship, but some people have to be realistic, and can we win one or not? And I think they have a legitimate shot, maybe in the next 2 years, of getting one.
I think their goal is to go to Murfreesboro every year.
And that can be done.
It can be done.
And that would be, I mean, what kind of accomplishment is that? Sooner or later, if you keep going,
You're going to get one.
you're going to get one. So softball comes to a close there. You know, they finish 34-9.
That's strong. That's a lot of games, a lot of wins.
That's a lot of wins. On the soccer side, 11 AAA soccer, Brentwood defeats Rossview. They obviously qualify. They beat Rossview 4-0 in the opening round. They lost to Blackman 5-4 on PKs at the very end. I mean, this thing comes down to it. You know, it's just like it's drama-filled. You couldn't script it any better. Unfortunately, it goes to Blackman's side to get into that state championship game.
And I think that was the state championship game. Those were the best two teams. Blackman ends up winning it. I mean, that is the equivalent of getting beat in double overtime on a buzzer beater 3-point shot. You know what I'm saying? Half-court shot. That's how close it was. And, you know, you just hate to see it. I love seeing Coach Purcell get back there again. You know, he's got state championships under his belt. He's got a #1, I don't know if they call it a national championship. He's got a #1 ranking in the country under his belt. But so great to see him get back there. But what a tough loss, man. I mean, I think those were the two best teams. And you see right there, the way you described it, just how close it was. I think they would have won that last game. But again, they were there. Just not quite close enough. But you keep talking about that. Think about that. And I know you're going to get to it, but Brentwood was this, you know, state championship game in baseball. We talked about softball. Don't have to rehash that and then that. They very possibly could have had 3 more state championships. That's amazing.
Well, obviously, when you qualify, you earn Directors' Cup points for every team that qualifies, including the individuals, right? And then as you move further down the road in the state championships, you get more points if you win it, obviously. And the spring that Brentwood had, I'm not sure, in the time I've been here, that we've ever had a stronger single school outing.
Yeah.
Qualified softball, baseball,
Soccer.
girls tennis, soccer. I mean, if they would have gotten boys tennis, they would have had a clean sweep.
That's right.
And track and field too, and track and field as well.
Yep.
So it's pretty amazing what they have done. Fairview, on the other hand, another school that's had a tremendous athletic season, and we'll get to that at the end about the Directors' Cup points. Fairview goes in soccer, in the AA side. They beat Sheffield 7-1 in the first game. Wasn't even close. It was a rout of those guys. And then they turned around and unfortunately lost in the semi-championship game to Loudon 2-1. They're only graduating 2 players on this team. A bunch of young guys coming back. There is a chance that Fairview could win their first team state championship with boys soccer.
That'd be pretty cool, man. You know, and they got to be the favorite to get back, and you know, they're going to have to go through Page, and I would think Nolensville is going to have something to say about that too. But only graduating 2 players, they're the heavy favorite, and they're really close. You know what I'm saying? It's not like there's a long history of Fairview making it to the state tournament. They've got that thing right now. Only lost 2-1 to Loudon. I would think that they've got a really good chance to make a big run in the state tournament next year. And you're right, the year they had is it's the best overall athletic year they've ever had. They've got some real excitement going on over there. Kurt Jones, Dr. Jones is moving over, and
I like that.
And he's an athletic guy, man. So he's going to want to see this thing keep going, and he's going to help them and give them the tools. It's going to be fun. The atmosphere over there is not going to change.
On the tennis side, Brentwood High School girls tennis, we sound like a broken record, state champions after defeating Dobbins Bennett 4-0 and Houston 4-0. I'm glad that was close. You know, that team has been dominant. The WCS Sports Conference, as you're looking down here, when's the last time a non-WCS Sports Conference team won the AAA state championship? 2009.
2009.
Ravenwood or Brentwood has won the state championship 9 straight seasons.
pretty strong. I'd say it continues.
I'd say you're right. Summer Henry, we talk about her a lot. Unfortunately, due to an injury, did not get to do qualify for the singles, but did get to compete in the state team title. Can you imagine sitting up there getting prepared, thinking, well, she's out, and then all of a sudden she walks on the court. You know, she's going to IU, Indiana, Sonny. I look forward to seeing how that goes and translate. I don't know a whole lot about college tennis. Obviously, you're the expert, but I don't know where. And I asked her mother about why IU, and there is.
I know. I asked her this, and I paid
okay.
attention.
Go ahead.
They reached out to her.
Right, the coach.
Well,
they really like the coaching staff.
They're really good, which I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Coach Knight, he was a big
Tennis supporter
of tennis. They called him, came up there. It's a good academic school. She visited. She absolutely loved the coaching staff, from the head coach to the assistants down. She had a great time on her visit, loved the other tennis players on the team. Said, this is where I want to go. I asked her that on the red carpet, and I listened.
Okay, I'm glad
That's
that
how
you
I
did.
knew that.
Unfortunately, I had a headset on trying to.
I wasn't saying you weren't. I was just saying.
Calhoun and Fisher, doubles from Brentwood, also champions as well. Fisher, Georgia Fisher, we hear that name. She's been around for a while now. I think this is her second, maybe even third double state championship in a row.
I'd love to just see an inter-squad match between this team.
I think
That might have been more entertaining. It'd have been better than 4-0-4-0.
Yeah. On the boys' side, Ravenwood had a little bit more of an interesting road to get there. They are the state champions. They beat White Station 4-3 in that opening round. Everybody said that was the state championship match. They knew that going in, that White Station was the other great team going in that was predicted to win it. They won 4-3 in a very close matchup, and then they beat Bearden 4-1. Ravenwood boys tennis, obviously going back years and years as well. They're equivalent to the Brentwood girls team, and pretty much between whoever wins the WCS Sports Conference District, pretty much is guaranteed the state championship.
Without a doubt. And that was the other one you were talking about. That was congratulations to them. That's great.
On the track and field side,
one little side note nobody cares about. I went my freshman year to Farragut. Nobody likes Bearden, so seeing them beat Bearden 4-1,
that's interesting.
30 years later, that's even more gratifying.
Brentwood boys are track and field state champions. Congratulations to them. Every year that I've been here, they've been close, runner-up several times. Something's always happened. It's been the potentially the sprints that they're not their strongest suit. The middle distance, they've always won. The long distance, they've always won. But here's the key. Their field events have been kind of up and down, and everything hit perfect this year. Their field events, they absolutely wiped the slate. Jet Kinder, what an athlete he is. decathlete state champion. He wins the decathlon. The high jump state champion, 6'8". Hats off to Jet Kinder at that. Not only did he win it in the decathlon itself, but he won it in the individual at 6'8".
By the way, he's a sophomore.
That's stout.
AAA, decathlete.
That's stout.
That's strong.
Catherine Coffey, shot
Super
put
stout.
and discus state champion 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Going to Louisville.
Yeah. And another one from the Wilcos that I loved them all, but what a great personality she had. A great interview on the red carpet, and just big smile, infectious smile, just a happy young lady. But she's gonna make waves in the collegiate ranks too. But yeah, 2-time state champion in both, and it really, I don't even think it was even close. She probably would have placed in some of the men's, but she's had a great career, man. She's been top dog for last 2 years, and really. Her sophomore year, she was. I can't remember. Did she pick up one her sophomore year, or she was close?
I can't remember. I have to go back. But
she was very close. She was right in the middle of it as a sophomore.
Well, her career. Cannot wait to see where her career takes her once she gets to Louisville. And that, what can they do differently? What can they get? How can they get some extra feet out of the throws, if you will? And I think it comes down to strength training and obviously technique. So it's going to be interesting when you have all those tools at your fingertips, and they have all these experts around them, and putting those things. I can't wait to see. Could it be possible? Can we see
national champ?
Not only national champ, but potentially in the Olympics. How cool would that be?
That'd be pretty neat.
Hey, and Jet Kinder the same way, man. If this kid is a sophomore right now doing what he's doing, high jumping 6'8" out of sophomore.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. I'm telling you right now. That's I can't put enough words on it. That's huge. I mean, I know that you were jumping 6'2" as a sophomore, but 6'8" as a sophomore,
Correct.
that's half a foot. Half a foot is like a mile.
I know.
I mean, it's
It's
amazing.
in his blood.
Avery McMullen on the girls' side from Centennial, pentathlon state champion, also won the long jump, almost a carbon copy of him, if you will, on the female side. I mean, to do that is pretty amazing.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
So we swept, WCS Sports Conference on AAA swept decathlon and pentathlon. Not only that, I believe they had some injuries on the Brentwood side as well that they could have gone 1, 2, and 3 on the decathlon side. And I imagine before Jet's career is over that they could potentially do that.
I'd be pretty strong. They've done it before. And one thing I think needs mentioning is Steve Brock, assistant football coach for Brentwood Bruins, steps in. He's the head coach this year. First year, man, and, you know, he got that job late, and you know what I'm saying? And I think he did a phenomenal job of coaching that team. And, you know, he had some really good talent, but they had to put some pieces together, and they did it. And so that's not easy to do, to take over a program like that. It's I think it was his first time even being a head track coach. He's been a head coach in other sports, head football and things like that. But great job by him, man. It could have gone one of two ways, and obviously it went the right way. So hats off to him and his staff.
Wilco's finalist and winner, Gigi Maddox, Page, Auburn signee, wins the 3,200 meter by herself in that category, which is 2 miles, which is not an easy race, obviously.
No.
At the AAA level. Her career at Auburn, can't wait to see how that goes.
Is Gigi going to run both? Is she going to do cross country and track, or?
I don't know. That's a great question.
I thought I saw that. I think she's doing both.
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but we need to find that out.
No.
Kaylee Barty, this is a great story right here. Kaylee Barty, Fairview, state champion, high jumper. There's only been 2 state champions that's ever come out of Fairview. You know who the other one is?
In track or ever?
In track.
Oh, I don't know.
Jarrett Jones.
No way.
That's the hint.
Oh.
It's his
wife. Yeah.
His wife.
What'd she win?
She won, I wish you wouldn't asked. I'd have to look it up.
I bet she was a sprinter.
It was a running event. It was not field. So but even better for this story is the fact that Kaylee Barty wins the high jump and also at the same time gives them enough points to overcome Nolensville in the Director's Cup for Fairview to win their Director's Cup for the first time ever.
Big deal.
I think so.
Big deal.
What do you think?
I think that's huge. We got some jumpers in this county. I mean, it's high jump, long jump, high jump, decathlon, pentathlon.
Triple jump. TJ Sheffield finishes in the top 10. You've got a bunch of other kids. Pole vault, we're always great in the pole vault. We had a couple runners up. Katie Woods of Brentwood pole vault runner up as well. Garrett Lee, boys pole vault runner up.
Did you ever do the pole vault?
I did it one time. Yeah, it was one of those deals where in Hickman County, if you're pole vaulting, you're going across a creek with a stick, right? But you know, I was a high jumper. We didn't have a pole vault pit. So we go up Lipscomb one day, right? And they're pole vaulting. I'm thinking,
I can do this.
I can do this. I pretty much almost impaled myself. And I said, I will never try that again.
It takes a special person to be a pole vaulter.
I don't think people realize, number one, the strength, in all seriousness, the strength that involved. Because once it hits the pit, you've got to bend it to a certain degree to get that
Oomph.
the oomph.
Oh, no, I'm being serious.
If there's anybody watching this up until this point and they haven't cut it off.
You're a special person. Go try it.
Speed, strength,
Agility,
athletic ability,
courage,
core strength, and then,
strength.
yeah, I mean, it's just a lot to it. Let's look at real quick Director's Cup. We talked about it. We referenced it. It's pretty amazing. For the first time, somebody eclipses the 700-point mark. You want to guess who that was?
Brentwood High Bruins.
Brentwood High Bruins repeats as the Director's Cup champions. This is their third in a row. Not only that, over 700 points, 740 to be exact, total points for the Bruins. In second place, Ravenwood with a very stout year at 463 points, but you get beat almost 300 points in Director's Cup. That's never happened. I mean, it's like Augusta. We have to tiger-proof the course. I'm going to have to figure out how to Bruin-proof the Director's Cup, right? But hats off to Brentwood. Joe Blair is athletic director there. Things that are happening with their coaching staffs. Winning winning. That's what they do. They continue. You know, one of the most impressive things, really, if you go over to Brentwood and walk down their hallway, and they have their plaques lining the hallway, and those plaques are nothing but region championships. It's not, hey, we got silver in the district. No, region championship plaques, and they're as far as the eye can see.
They're running out of hallways. It's
pretty impressive.
Strong.
It's pretty impressive.
Real strong.
740 Brentwood High School. Second place, Ravenwood High School at 463. In third place, 392 points, Franklin. Congratulations, Franklin. I know I'll tell you why this is important. It's the highest point total and the highest they've finished in the entire Directors' Cup since we've done it in 4 years. 392 points in third place. And in fourth place, 359, Independence. And in fifth place, 320 points, Centennial. Sixth place, 234 points, Summit. That is the Division I category. We've got the Division II category with the two smaller schools plus the new school of Nolensville. Fairview, Page, and Nolensville in that Division II category. First place, 373 points, Fairview. One girl wins the state championship and wins it for Fairview. What a story that is, right?
Very cool.
Nolensville, 371 in second place. Third place, 296, Page High School. I ran the numbers. Look at it if you went 1 through 9. We have a couple of our guys. Chad Kirby said, let's just do all one category. This is what they would have finished out. Are you ready? First place, Brentwood. Second place, Ravenwood. Third place, Franklin. Fourth place, Fairview High School. Fifth place, Nolensville. 6, Indy. 7, Centennial. 8, Page. 9, Summit. If you put them all together.
Well, there wasn't.
What can you say the largest factor to Fairview High School's success this year?
Well, one, the area is booming, but
it is.
They had a lot of multi-sport guys, man.
So
shout out to their coaches.
That's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, multi-sport guys and girls, but football, basketball, wrestling, soccer, they shared kids.
And once that thing gets going,
you got to do that.
Once that thing gets going, and you have a little success at one, and all of a sudden you got Trey McCoy and what he's done over there, you come a bucket. I want you to think about this: a bucket away from beating Stratford High School at Stratford to go to the state tournament in basketball on the AA side.
Oh, they got it going, no doubt.
I mean, things are rolling for the
football started off on the right foot. That was a heck of a year, but I think that was the biggest
Mr.
thing.
Football finalist,
sharing them,
district MVP, district tournament MVP, all region.
He won Wilco too, didn't he?
And he won Male Athlete of the Year. You think it has a little to do with it? Yes, obviously you got to have those guys, but it's collectively of what's happened is pretty impressive.
First state champion in wrestling, Jackson Clevenger.
Forgot that. Only WCS Sports Conference champion. Yep. If you're still with us, thank you for hanging out to us. We have covered everything. This has been the wrap-up show, 2018. Next time we talk, guess what we're going to be talking about?
Football. 2018.
Any quick predictions before we go off the air on football? Ravenwood will not be the outside team looking in like we predicted last year.
No, without a doubt. I think we have a team in Cookeville this year.
Man, I hope so. We'll see. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time for Sports Connection.
In late 2010, I entered a BMX dirt jumping contest and took a hard slam. And I'd done the trick 1,000 times. I suffered a traumatic brain injury. Now I'm not telling you not to send it, not to go out there and get it done. But what I am saying is learn about brain injury and how to prevent it. Our sport is cool enough. You can wear a helmet. It's your brain. It's your future. You should know what's up.